going to check the stream and make sure I can be heard. But it's not showing that it's live on my app. So, hang tight. Oh, look, there it is. Yes, I'm old enough. Oh, look, I can... Okay, I'm good. Y'all talk?
No, I refuse.
Pizza ice cream, man.
Ew. Is that like a flavor?
Can't
I'm not down. I don't think that'd be very good.
You know, look me dead in the eyes and say you wouldn't try it.
Oh, I would try it. I never said that.
There we go.
But I would not like it.
Okay.
Depending on what kind of pizza.
What am I doing?
Cheese?
Cheese.
There we go.
I don't think...
Look, okay, what pizza is there that you're like, yeah, I'll try that?
Okay.
Wait, what?
Fair.
What did I miss?
I did have one time. So I'll go ahead and just say this. I am a fan of pineapple on pizza.
Oh,
Putting that out there.
pie.
I'm not perfect. I never claimed to be. But I went to... Okay, bye. I went to this bar with my mom last summer, and we ordered what was it? I think it was a pear pizza. So it was pizza with pears on it. And the first slice I did not like. By the end, I was like, I could eat that again right now if I needed to.
I am out. What? How did this conversation start?
I don't know.
Are we just talking about weird pizzas? Because I have a weird pizza.
It's the cold open.
Oh, okay, so so I have family in Louisiana.
Naturally.
Food's weird in Louisiana. There's a place there called... I can't remember what it's called. I want to say something Ray's Pizza. Anyway.
Raising Cane's.
No, like Ray, like R-A-Y. Anyway, we got a pizza
Like
there
Manta.
called the Sweep the Swamp Pizza. And it has...
Oh, that doesn't sound
I
great.
don't think I like where it's going.
It has shrimp, crawfish, and alligator on it.
No.
And,
That's where I thought it was going, yeah.
yeah, well, the thing is, they didn't put a whole lot of sauce on it, so it tasted really fishy.
What do you expect?
Sauce. Like, enough.
Fair.
You know?
Fair point.
But me and my papa were the only ones that ate it. And Uncle David, I guess.
So you and your who?
Papa. My grandfather.
Yeah.
So no one else would touch it. It was fine. It tasted like fishy pizza.
Nah.
Okay. Oh, well, I mean, there's fish tacos. Why can't there be fish pizza?
People put anchovies
You know
on
who
pizza.
doesn't eat either of those? Me.
You don't eat fish tacos?
You don't eat fish?
No, I eat fish. I don't like fish tacos.
Coward.
Yes.
I had to go away again because of that.
Well, how have you guys been? How's it?
We should say, speaking of awkward pauses, if there are any in here, this is probably going to go up mostly unedited. So, just, be ready for that. We are still in lockdown. We're doing this remotely. This is actually, we're live streaming this one, like we did the last one. But we're just going to take the audio and put it up on our regular channel.
Yeah.
I can hear myself in this microphone, and I should be used to it because I used to use this. But I'm not used to it, and I don't know if I like it.
I'm comforted by the sound of my own voice.
I believe that.
It's nice just to know that I can be heard.
I guess if I put my
I'm also
headphones
a
on, it's
narcissist.
better.
What was that?
If I put my headphones on all the way, it's better because then I don't I usually listen with one, and then I can hear myself too many times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little better. Anyway, go ahead. What are we doing today? I don't like this.
We are gonna be listening to me in my comforting voice.
Okay.
That was a weird thing to say. But I
lost most of the parts for this stand. So, it's like
have an
barely
extra
held
one
in.
if you need, because I don't use it. I use this.
I just need like the spacer that goes there.
I don't believe there is one.
Well, there is on this side.
Yep, right there. I see it.
There is not on. Is there? I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
There
where my-
was when you bought it.
Probably.
Hey, Emily, I really need to hear your comforting voice.
I regret saying that. Okay, but I am taking you guys on a journey tonight. It's my topic. I
Journey?
would like to just, while we're here, before I
Okay.
tell you anything,
Before the
where do
journey.
you think we're gonna go?
I can't
Any hints or?
I can't think of a journey joke. So I would
What
have
kind
to
of thing
guess
do you think I'm gonna
West
cover?
Virginia with you.
West Virginia. We're not
Some-
doing Mothman.
I believe it's something that
Yes.
you believe in that's totally bogus.
You're not correct.
I thought you were going to tell him he's not wrong.
That is not correct. Tonight I'm
appreciate the
actually
Vine
gonna
reference.
mix it up. What are you saying?
Huh?
What trash are you talking?
I said I appreciate that Vine reference.
Thank you. I'm actually.
That was what Norman would have done before TikTok. Just so he knows.
It's over.
Wait a second.
It's over. We do
TikTok.
TikTok references now.
My
No.
bad.
I'm all
Norm,
about
how did you
bite.
skip Vine?
I didn't.
What?
No, I didn't skip Vine. It's just I moved on.
My bad.
There is no moving on.
There is no moving on. Also, I only use. So the only thing that makes me feel anything anymore is cringe compilations, and it's TikTok. And so I decided to cut out the middleman and the channels I kept seeing repeating in the compilations on YouTube. I follow them now. I will get lost for hours on the app, and it's a data mining app, so I really know I shouldn't.
Yeah,
But
correct.
what are they gonna find?
Wait, on what app?
TikTok. It's a data mining app.
Oh, nice.
I mean, there's lots of stuff they could find.
What
Did
are they
you
going to
know,
use against
speaking
me?
of people stealing data, we have a friend who he was there. I'm not gonna. It's okay. It's Wes. He's affiliated with the channel. I can just say his name.
Yeah, I was about to say there's only one person we're data mining.
Wes, his Steam account got hacked because he didn't use it for so long, and they got him permabanned from CS:GO using his Steam account and I guess cheating. And he contacted Valve today, and they said, "Oh well, there's nothing we can do about that. You should have hid your password better, buddy."
Can't he just make a new account?
He could, but like he's bought games on this account.
Oh well,
That's
yeah.
a shame. That bites.
Anyway,
But that's why
We're
you
taking a
use
journey.
different passwords on everything. We're taking a journey. So this involves murder, occult,
occult or a cult?
occult.
I know what we're talking about.
Are we talking about Oneida Flatware?
We're talking about Tiger King.
No,
Oh,
we're
okay.
not.
Okay.
Neither of those things. Missing kids that might be zombies. A woman who thinks that she is the. Okay, don't look like that, Tanner.
I'm sorry. I just want
I
to know
don't
where
think- I don't.
where
think
is
that
the room
kids
for
are
these
zombies.
kids to be zombies?
I'm gonna go
Okay,
ahead and
no,
say
we'll
I
get
don't
there,
believe
we'll
the
get
kids
there.
are zombies. So missing kids, murder,
Right.
more murder, occult,
Zombies.
a bunch of crazy stuff.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Also like a million marriages, so it's fine. Doomsday cult, but the end of the world. Let's throw that in the clickbait as well.
Oh, okay. Quick, say as many things that I can hashtag as you can.
Murder. Cult. What else did I... Zombies.
Mystery.
Okay. Mystery. Yeah, so honestly, I don't think there's much to the mystery here. I think it's pretty straightforward, but we'll get there. So I took off my jacket and then I decided I was still cold. What was that?
So I think that about a lot of things.
Fair enough. Cool. So we are today going to talk about the case of Lori Vallow and her missing kids.
What's up with that?
So have you guys heard anything about her? I'm assuming not.
The name sounds familiar, but I think I'm thinking of the aunt from Full House. So probably not her.
Oh, her name was Lori, right?
Yeah, her kids are accounted for, but she's in prison. So.
When's the last time you checked on the aunt from Full House's kids?
When she paid to get them into an Ivy League school and then got arrested for it.
Oh, right.
This is actually fairly recently.
Yeah, so typically I will talk about like ghosts and stuff. This doesn't have any ghosts.
Almost
this doesn't
exclusively.
Have any... Almost exclusively. I talk about monsters and aliens, please.
It might have zombies.
Yeah, how does it have zombies but no ghosts?
Because those are different things.
Are zombies ghosts? What sets them apart?
I'm not... Anyway. So, this is an ongoing case, not closed.
Oh, okay, so we should be more reverent.
Yeah, like, the kids could still be
Zombies?
alive, but they probably aren't.
Well, you could have opened with that, and we wouldn't have made so many jokes, maybe.
Well, she also could have not opened with zombie kids.
Zombie kids. We didn't make any jokes on the kids' expense, so we're fine.
That's true.
Otherwise, it would have been like, oh, what a fool you'll look like in a second.
If we slip up and do, sorry, we don't mean it. These is just jokes. Anyway.
But so the kids have been missing since September.
Bro.
This is like recent? So recent.
This is recent.
Oh no.
Like there's a new case opening up against Lori Vallow that Iowa or Idaho.
What a time to choose a story when Montana's doing no editing.
What is the difference between Iowa and Idaho?
I couldn't tell you. Where one of them they lived there.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
was it a potato place
Idaho.
or a...
So
okay.
Idaho
Potatoes.
Opened a new case against her yesterday. So this is like ongoing.
Okay. Well, that is good to know. Continue.
Yeah. So everything is alleged. Let's start
Right,
there.
let's strap in here.
She hasn't been convicted of anything.
Okay.
Neither has her husband.
Okay.
But I think it's a really, really interesting case, and then I haven't really found a lot of things that have it like... Because when you Google her, it's just like the most recent thing. Since it is so recent, there's not anything really like... There's a couple timelines of everything, but there's nothing that really takes it from beginning to end. Or to present day, I guess I should say, because there isn't an end yet. But I will start by giving you guys a little bit of background on her.
Very exciting.
She's lived a kind of crazy life. Not crazy. She's had 5 husbands, so...
Okay. Well, there could be 5 perfectly reasonable stories there.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that there aren't. I think maybe a couple of them were just like thought we were in love and then we weren't. Like she named her high school boyfriend. It says unnamed high school boyfriend. She married her unnamed high school boyfriend, and then they broke up real quick. She is... How old is she? She's 46.
Okay.
Zelda, can you not? Get down. Don't talk back to me. Oh,
I hear you slapping your springs over there.
No, that's her tail.
Oh.
Get down, baby.
Anyway.
Everyone say hi to Zelda. She needs some attention right now. Come here.
I'm running out of
goodness, she's
things
not
to
going
drink over here.
What was that?
Nothing important.
Zelda, stop. Come here. So, she is currently 46. So she's still pretty young to have 5 husbands, but
That's like
young to have
one
5
every
husbands.
10 years ish.
yeah, if you start at 0. No, she's been through a lot of husbands. So the first 3 are kind of like whatever.
Well,
Hold on. She didn't married. So her and her second husband had a son, Colby, but he's not really involved too much. Her third husband and her had a daughter, Tylee.
no.
Before
I make a joke, should I make a
she
joke?
is missing.
Okay, then I won't.
But
But
if
that
you're
is a ridiculous name.
a white woman naming her child,
That's
Tylee
what
is
you
kind
come
of a
up with.
ridiculous name.
Yes. Okay. So we're on the same page.
Tylee.
Oh, of course. Continue.
Yes. So, born right before they filed for divorce. And then in 2007, so that husband was threatened by Lori's brother, Alex, who's going to come up against her. Remember him?
Okay, Alex. I also
he-
feel like, for anyone watching, I'm staring directly away from everything. That's because this is where my screen is with my people on it. Okay, go ahead. I'm looking.
I
I'm
have
looking
my
at you
camera
while
right
you
at my
talk.
information. So,
Okay.
not to brag, but I had some forethought. So Alex attacked the third husband, tased him, and threatened to murder him. And then he pled guilty for doing that. And
Okay.
he was sentenced to 90 days in jail. And then
Seems
that
lenient.
husband died in 2018 of a heart attack. But he was pretty young to die of a heart attack, so that's kind of sus. But for the most part, he was
Getting
away
tased isn't
from-
great for your heart.
No,
Absolutely.
but so he was tased in 2007, so
Yeah, but,
probably
like-
unrelated.
I don't know how long the effects of that could last.
I don't. As far as I know, not that long. Otherwise, they wouldn't use it as much.
Let's find out on stream. We'll tase you and see how
No.
long you live.
First off, you're not near me.
That's true. Because
Secondly, there's a history of
Pandemic.
heart problems in my family. Don't come after me with a taser.
I mean, that might fix it.
That might fix it. I
What are
think
you,
that's
a
only if my
doctor?
heart stops.
Huh?
If my heart stops, it might like restart it real quick. But I don't think.
I don't believe that you
I don't
can
think a
actually
taser would
restart
do
a
it.
stopped heart with electricity.
What's a
Huh?
thingy?
It
what's the thingy?
it resets your rhythm, but it won't just start it from nothing.
Sounds like they should work on that.
Anyway,
Don't do
speaking of
disappointed.
zombies,
So almost a year after her divorce in 2006, Lori marries Charles Vallow in Las Vegas.
classic.
So they kind of got. It was kind of a quick wedding, all things considered, because she and
I assumed that when you said Vegas.
well, sure, but also so they were so her third husband and her were married from 2001 to 2005, and then in 2006, like the very beginning of 2006, she was already married again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she jumps from relationship to relationship. It's a
Classy.
it's a pattern you can see, especially with these 3 marriages. So she marries Charles Vallow in Las Vegas. She converts to Mormonism. That's not really a big part of it, but that
it seems like it would
happened.
be a big part of it.
It seems like it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not so much.
Okay. Just casually converts to Mormonism.
Yeah, so like I think she was very involved in the church, but other than that, like not really a big part of the story. So in 2013, they adopted Charles's grandnephew. So I think it was like his sister's kid's kid or something. I don't really remember, and it doesn't really say. It doesn't really matter. They adopt the kid.
Sounds like Mormonism.
Yeah, they adopt the kid JJ,
Okay.
who was born in 2012 or 2013. So they've got Tylee and JJ. And then they moved to Kauai in 2014. So they were there for a couple of years. So I'll also say that Charles Vallow he did very well for himself. He was pretty rich, and a lot of people suspect that while they did love each other, he also really loved his money.
Naturally.
So that's something to keep in mind.
It would take a lot of money to get me to convert to Mormonism.
Put a number on it, Tanner. Put a number on it.
Yeah.
Like,
how many subscriptions how many subscribers to get you to convert to Mormonism?
Well, it only took me 10 to play
what?
Resident Evil, so...
You said what?
Subscribers to what? How much am I making per person?
How much money?
Probably, like... He would have to be... Like, net worth at least...
The gears are turning.
I want to say 75 million.
75 million to do it or to believe it?
It would have to be enough that, like, I would have to be comfortable that I would never have to do anything I don't want to do again.
Mm.
Like, forever.
Yeah.
Like, even if everything he owns sinks, he has enough offshore that I never have to work again. And then I'm in.
He was only worth a couple $1 million.
Low standards.
Well, his insurance policy was $1 million. Let me see.
Plus, you can't show your ankles anymore.
My ankles are like my best feature. So.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It's because you've seen my ankles.
I have nothing to say. Let's see. Okay, so he's worth a bit of money. I can't really find anywhere how much money, but he was worth some money. And then, so around 2015, Lori starts reading this series of books called Standing in Holy Places, written by Chad Daybell. She becomes very obsessed with them, according to a friend. And when they moved to Arizona, about 2.5 years, so 2018.
Wait, where did they live before that?
They're in Hawaii.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Wait, they were Mormon in Hawaii?
Yeah.
They moved from Kauai to Arizona.
Uh-huh. I think he had business in Arizona. And then also, I think...
The price just went up.
I think...
Go ahead.
I think he had some, like, business dealings in Arizona, and that's why they moved there. And then I think there might have been some family there as well.
What business was he in? Sand?
I don't remember, and I can't find it.
Okay. I hate sand.
It's coarse and rough and irritating.
Emily doesn't get it.
I'm trying to find... I know they lived in a really big house, but, so, anyway, she goes up to... I want to say Idaho. Because she got in contact with Chad Daybell. And so the books that he was writing were about the end of times and how they're coming very soon. And how
Some would say now.
Some would say now. He would say July this year.
Man,
Oh, so we still got time.
Like,
We got a little bit of time.
honestly, though, he might not have been... Like, he might be well within the margin of error.
I know.
You know?
Isn't that crazy? So I don't know a ton about the books, but I do know that he was... A lot of people say that he was leading, like, a doomsday cult. So...
Love a good doomsday cult.
Yeah, so he had a podcast called Preparing a People. So it's
This
about...
Wait.
Oh,
this
this
whole
just got-
time we could have had a cult?
Like, this
yeah,
went
everyone
from,
becoming
like...
today's podcast.
This went from very cool to, okay, no, he has a podcast. It was like,
He has a
doomsday cult
podcast?
podcast.
Well, yeah, it's 2020. How else are you going to reach the people? You know? If this was
I
2018...
was imagining,
AM radio.
like cardboard signs on the street corner and
No, this one is modern. And then also Chad Daybell, I believe, is also rich, so that helps.
Was he sponsored by?
He was sponsored by Blue Apron.
Yes.
That's a joke. Please, Blue Apron, don't take it seriously. You can sponsor us, though.
just to prove your point that you don't sponsor him. Us.
Please.
One day it's gonna happen.
Dude, I really want a Mountain Dew sponsorship. I cannot describe it enough.
That would be wild, but I don't own enough dirt bikes for that.
They
So-
already follow me on Twitter, so I've already gotten the first step done.
I mean,
But
with the amount of Mountain Dew in your online life, like there's usually one
it's
sitting.
just my life. I'm drinking one right now.
Did you go to Wiener Schnitzel?
Yeah, it's across the street from my apartment.
Oh yeah. Man, now I kind of want Wiener.
And it's
Schnitzel.
cheap. And it fills me up. That's besides the point. So,
It's
okay.
hard.
It hits me hard. Anyway, so she guests on an episode of Preparing a People. I don't know if I should say the episode name. I don't really want to like push the podcast because this
Can
man is
we
crazy.
have one of
Are
them
they still
on?
doing it?
I don't think. No, she's in prison.
Okay, so not her, the other
But
guy.
I don't know.
We should reach out.
Preparing a People. Well, he's probably going to be indicted soon.
We should reach out fast then.
I googled it. I found a website. I don't think this is it.
Oh, okay. I'm just picturing like
Oh, yeah. This last line on their website says, "We formally are notifying all media and individuals to cease and desist from mentioning this brand or our media company in negative connection with Chad or Lori Daybell or their case."
Oh,
so we'll have to formally notify them that no.
They are not. They are not associated with it. This seems like it's a church website. Oh, it's a Mormon website. It looks like they
I'm going to stand by what I said.
which is what?
Which
No.
is nothing to do. He just doesn't trust the church. He doesn't. It's not because they were Mormons. It's because
It's I'm not okay.
I'll
Let's
let you.
let's
finish
keep
your-
going and
Remember,
we'll see where
We're
we
not
end up.
editing this.
Yeah, no, let's keep going and we'll see where we end up. I'll stand by whatever I say.
Yeah. So. Da-da-da-da.
I'm just
So
picturing all of
she-
Far Cry 5 right now.
She at one point tells Charles that she's on the podcast a lot, and so she becomes very good. She's very close with Chad
Okay.
Daybell very quickly, and she tells her husband at one point that she was the reincarnated wife of Joseph Smith,
Joseph Seed.
he founded Mormonism.
Stop it, Tanner.
Oh. Yeah, same thing. I'll stand by
that. So she's the reincarnated wife, and then she vanished for 58 days. And she vanished, as far as I know, she vanished like right after Charles filed for divorce.
People
and he
who aren't
filed for
watching the
divorce.
stream won't be able to see the faces I'm making over here, but they're just...
Okay, can we talk a little bit about her vanishing for 58 days? Like,
Yeah, just 1 second. So,
it was for a sex trip.
So he filed for divorce, saying that she had threatened to murder him, and also she stole $35,000 from their joint bank account. So I don't know if that's stealing because it was their joint bank account, but she did take $35,000 out of it. And then in March of 2019, he withdrew the petition to divorce, saying he wanted to try to make the marriage work.
Wild. Okay, so hold on.
Yes, let's discuss.
Yeah, start over from the crazy part at the beginning.
it's all kind of crazy.
There's a whole bunch of crazy.
Which part? We're not even to the crazy stuff yet, really.
Okay, well, the part where she thinks she's a reincarnation of the wife of definitely not the guy from Far Cry 5.
I think that's pretty straightforward. She just thinks he's
Why?
the wife. She's the wife.
Like, I don't know.
Do Mormons believe in reincarnation?
I don't know what they believe in, man. They believe in, like...
No, to be honest.
Like, special pajamas, and it's a religion that's new enough for my dad to go, oh yeah, that didn't happen. That was not true.
I also heard that...
That's a joke I stole, by the way, just before anyone calls me out for stealing that joke. I stole it from... I'm not going to say who. It was Daniel Todd.
John Mulaney? Oh, okay.
I don't like people to know that I listen to him.
She was also telling people, I heard this, so I listened to a podcast about this to kind of get a grasp of the situation, because like I said, there's not a lot of things that have like a good grasp on everything, because there's a lot that happened and a lot still going on, and a lot of things, I guess they're just not publishing it beginning to end because there's just so much adding on all the time. Like when I found this story in the middle of March, so like a month ago, when well, I'll tell you guys there in a minute, but something happened, and so that's how I found out about the case, because it was like, oh, this just happened. It's like, what led to this? I'm intrigued. But so I found a podcast about it. It was by Dr. Phil. That man is dramatic.
Gosh.
Dr. Phil has a podcast?
Dr. Phil has a podcast.
Dr. Phil has a lot of stuff. He has
a lot of
everything in the world except a license to practice medicine anymore. Continue.
And good
well,
advice.
no, he never practiced medicine. He's
psychiatric medicine is medicine. Come on, that's
was
a
he
whole...
doing psychiatric medicine?
I think he did for a little bit. Either way, whatever licenses he had were revoked.
He was a forensic psychologist or something. He was on a lot of cases. Like he was the specialist for forensic, like psychological forensics or something.
Yeah, he lost that license.
Oh well.
But he's got his TV show.
He's got a TV show and he's got
sick.
A podcast.
And my mom's been on his TV show, so...
Well, we're going to have to discuss that.
I have the DVD.
Tanner, stop dropping things and then just expecting us to just...
How long have we been doing this? How long have I known you?
He wrote a book about weight loss, and my mom read it and lost a bunch of weight and shot him an email.
He's not all bad.
And she was like, hey, thanks for the book. And he was like, hey, do you want to come out and be on a success stories episode? And so I had to be on the tape that got aired, and then she actually flew out there and was on it. And I have a copy of it on a disc that I don't know of anyone in my life right now that has seen, other than my family.
Wait,
Watch party.
Did they show you?
Party.
Like, were you there?
I was on the tape. I didn't fly out. She flew out. I mean, she had like a tape with like her story that they played before she was introduced.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I was on that, and it's
his wife has
rough.
His wife has a skincare line now. He literally does back-to-back ads in the middle of the episodes. Every single episode, the commercial ends.
Wait, is he sponsored by his wife?
You know my wife, Robin.
Very cool. Anyway,
Tanner, do you know his wife, Robin?
I haven't met her personally, no. Or him.
Well, she has a skincare line. He's super proud of it. And you know what? I read a lot of reviews of the podcast, and it was like, okay, we get it. She has a skincare line. But you know what? He's using his platform to push his woman and push her forward and give her success. So you know what?
He's monetizing himself anyway.
Yes,
when are we gonna
but he's using that to support his wife, and I'm down with that.
So you listen to the Dr. Phil thing.
So I listened to the Dr. Phil thing. He, super dramatic, but he was saying that one of her friends, so this is already...
I'm just picturing this, and can you do it in his voice for me,
No,
please?
I cannot. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
Oh, I can do it.
I'll send you what to say. No, she was telling people that she was, like, Christ reborn?
Okay, very cool.
And then
no
also
one crazy has ever said that.
Also that she's the Antichrist.
Wait, she's Christ reborn and the Antichrist?
Yeah.
Yo.
Depending on her mood, I guess. But also,
I have a great idea for an animated sitcom.
Yeah, and then also she,
like Christ and the Antichrist get a ring together?
Yeah. It's the Odd Couple, but it's them. Oh, have you seen the commercials?
The Bible?
I pretty much, yeah. Have you seen the commercials for Justin Roiland's new show? It's going to be a Hulu exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks and sounds just like Rick and Morty, and it's about aliens. But it isn't Rick and Morty.
It seems like it has just... It's slightly different. So not just the characters, but like the jokes are slightly different.
Oh, yeah, they're less... I want to die.
Oh.
You know?
It doesn't seem like it's trying to try hard.
I bet the first episode is going to be like Rick and Morty caused the aliens to be there.
It's Pickle Rick.
And they're going to do... they're going to make appearances.
You know, Cosmo Cosmo did it first.
Stupid.
Anyway, I interrupted. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I remember it was
Solar
ridiculous.
Opposites.
That's the one.
I didn't know that he did Gravity Falls.
I believe that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There should just be a Justin Roiland section of Hot Topic. That's basically what...
Yeah, Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Fish Hooks.
You think he did the voices for Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh gosh. I don't like to hear that name.
Freddy?
FNAF?
I don't want to hear it. Never mind.
Let's hear watch 8 episodes of Game Theory on FNAF.
No.
I've done it before.
I want to forget that it ever existed.
And the whole time I was like, why am I still watching this? And then the next one would come on, and I was like, I guess. So that was it.
Wow, talk about off the rails. What were we talking about?
She also thought that only so many people were going to survive the end of days. Oh boy.
Like 97% of the population.
No, like 200 or 144,000 people or something.
Oh, okay.
So, and she could only take that many people, so she kept talking about, like, killing her kids so that they wouldn't have to deal with the end of times.
144,000 seems like a numerology number that someone came to by a bunch of nonsense.
Times 12. Plus a bunch of zeros. I don't know.
Someone made... I mean, obviously someone made it up, but, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I can't find, like... I would like to know Dr. Phil's sources, because I haven't been able to find them. But...
Dr. Phil doesn't need any resources.
Hey, Wow. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Phil.
So,
Stop.
please. So what else?
So that kind of led to her vanishing for 2 months. And it was right after Charles filed for divorce, and then he took it back. I don't know if it was before or after she showed back up again. Because she disappeared in February, and he had filed for divorce in February, and then he withdrew it in March. So it could have been like the very, very beginning of February. It'd have to, like, because February is a short month, so it'd have to be like the first she disappeared, and by the 29th she showed back up again or something. But
Do we know why she disappeared though?
no, she just disappeared, and like she didn't tell anybody.
Gonna guess to make zombies.
Well, yeah, what's going on with the kids around this?
So around this time, they're just living. They're just doing their thing. There's not much to that, to be honest, at this point, except that like, they probably didn't feel good about their parents getting divorced, and then one of them just disappearing. So
yeah, that's gotta be rough.
yeah, so like the kid, and again, JJ at this point, he would be 7 now, so he was probably like 5 or 6, so like pretty heavy. He would have to be 6, so like enough that he's gonna remember that, and it's gonna have an impact on him. So it's just rough. But and then she showed back up one day, and he was like, great, I really do want to make this marriage work. And then that didn't really work out.
I'm gonna guess no.
So what had happened was, so they were estranged, Charles and Lori, and I can't find the date for this. Let's see. Sorry, I'm almost there. So June rolls around. It doesn't really work out. The police find a bunch of like suspicious emails sent and received by Charles, but it kind of sounds like, so like sending them to Chad Daybell, but it kind of sounds like Lori faked those emails.
Okay. Do we
So
have
that's
an example?
something. No.
Okay.
But like I think one of them was like, I'd gladly fly you down here. You can stay with us like you did before. I like blah blah blah. Basically just kind of, it sounded like the emails were trying to establish that Charles was okay with Chad and him being around Lori so much. But it sounded like Charles had found all that stuff, and so she was worried that he was cheating, or that she was cheating. And he wasn't, so it says, quote, I'm not sure what the relationship between her and Chad Daybell, I'm not sure of the relationship with her and Chad Daybell, but they're up to something. She will not explain it. I'm going to send it to Chad Daybell's wife. Her name is Tammy, and I found her email address on their website, and I've got her cell phone number too. So we don't know if they ever got in contact. But he said he was going to reach out to Tammy, who was Chad's wife at the time. Which that's a separate thing too, is he's been married a handful of times. But then so that was in June. In July, Charles shows up to Lori's house in Arizona. He was there to pick up JJ. And then a confrontation ensued. There's not a lot of details on what happened, but Alex, Lori's brother, ended up shooting Charles to death in front of the kids.
Oh, okay.
So, and then he pled self-defense.
Okay, that's tough to believe.
It's tough to believe for a lot of reasons, especially because, like, the circumstances around it, and then also, like, it kind of... So what happened was, like, he came over, they were definitely fighting about something, but then Alex left the room to get a gun to come back and shoot him, which already kind of takes apart the self-defense, because, like, if you can leave, if you can go to a different room...
Then you can just keep leaving.
Then you can leave, yeah. So,
Yeah.
They were talking about filing charges for that, because it went into investigation kind of recently, but we'll get into that in a little bit as well. So... Soon after that, so Lori took the kids and moved them up to Idaho,
Okay.
where Chad lived. And
so
then
this is
Tammy...
a cult based in Idaho.
In Idaho. There's not much else going on.
There's potatoes.
There's potatoes.
I think that's where the Oneida cult was from, too.
You know, there's not a lot of places for cults to be from, to be fair. A lot of them seem to be from up north, so...
Well, yeah, the weather up there messes with people.
Yeah, and then it's very isolated, so it's very easy to, like, cut off contact with your very easy to get your followers to cut off contact.
Yeah.
It's like they just don't have Twitter.
They don't have internet, dude. So, they move up there, and then... So they go to school for like a little bit. They move up there in... They move up there really quickly. And then this is also where things get kind of iffy, because so they move up there, and then so within 90 days Charles gets shot and killed. Vallows and the kids move up to Idaho. And then Chad Daybell's wife dies mysteriously. So, and then they get married.
Okay.
So, within,
all of that is sketchy.
Uh-huh. So they were married in November. But then also, so when they moved up there, she withdrew JJ from school, and she said, I'm gonna school the kids now. She was telling everyone that Tylee had graduated early and she was getting ready to go to school, but she was gonna take a year off, so she didn't go into school to college early. So she was gonna take a gap year kind of thing. This is in September is when they moved up there. But since she moved up to Idaho, no one has seen the kids. So that's something.
Yeah.
In November, they went... So Tylee was last seen at Yellowstone National Park with JJ and Lori, and then her brother, the one that killed her ex-wife. They were seen September 8th.
So I guess he got off on self-defense?
I'll get there.
Okay.
So he got off for the time being.
Okay.
But once they went through the autopsy, some things came up, and he shot him 3 or 4 times too, which is overkill. And then also kind of investigating, and they interviewed the kids and stuff, and it's well, we don't know about self-defense.
Yeah.
So the last time they were seen for sure, and then there was also a video of JJ on the 23rd of September, but that was the last time. So the 24th is when she told the school that she withdrew him and that they were going to homeschool him. And the Chad Daybell, he like disappeared for like a second around that same time. He came back pretty soon after. It sounded like it was just for like a few days, but it was a few days that also the kids were in Yellowstone. So then in October, 2 Venmo payments were made from Tylee's account to her older brother, Colby. Colby, at this point, he's the kid from the second marriage.
Yeah.
Who it seems like he's like normal and has his stuff together. So he's like worried about his sister. So he's texting her all the time and she's like responding, but she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't really talk right now. I'm just really tired. Like, it's been a really busy week. I've been helping out with JJ here and this, doing this. So that was suspicious to him. And so he's convinced that he hasn't heard from her since before October, but the last time that they talked was October. But she would never call him or anything, even though he was like, I'm really worried about you. This would just, like, even just 2 seconds, this would make me feel a lot better. So he was really, really worried, but he couldn't really do anything. At this point as well, so this, fast forward to November, the next month, Vallow and Daybell were married. She keeps her name, and I don't really know why.
Just to make sure, this is November of 19.
2019, so like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
They get married in Hawaii, and at this point they're telling people that Tylee had died 2 years before, and that JJ just didn't, like, she wasn't acknowledging that JJ was a kid, like a person. She was like, oh no, my only kid died 2 years ago. So that's weird. So there, at the request of her grandma, the police visited Lori, at this point Daybell's home in Idaho, to conduct a welfare check. But then Lori said, oh, she's with some family in Arizona. But then the family in Arizona said, no, we haven't seen her. She was telling us that she's been dead for 2 years. So, like, just a lot of stories that didn't match up. So the FBI came back the next day, because they were like, alarm bells are ringing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, naturally.
And the home was abandoned.
Okay.
So they just disappeared. And then also, so there was another issue too with Tammy, Chad Daybell's wife that had died, because she was refusing to get a divorce, it sounded like. But then, so she died mysteriously, but he was like, he never really mourned her, and within a couple of months was married to somebody else. And then the issue was they wanted to exhume her body to do a real autopsy, but in Idaho, the law is it's up to the family. And since they were married, he was the family that would decide that.
That seems like a silly law.
That seems like a silly law. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Seems like the feds would be able to get around that.
Yeah, so from December to January, they started looking into the kid's disappearance, that mysterious death, and then their flee from Idaho. And in that time, they exhumed Tammy's body for a real autopsy. But as far as I know, the results of that haven't really come out yet. But I will say the charges that they want to press on Lori and Chad at this point that they announced yesterday are for murder charges against Tammy. So
Okay. So
they announced
that's
that
something.
yesterday. So they got that going for them.
Yeah.
People are like begging for them. They're like just tell us what happened to these kids. Like, these are children. Like, please, we want to know that our family's safe. We want to know that our friends are safe. And it's mostly like the grandparents are like pleading with them to just make sure that the kids are safe. Like, we just want to know, because Lori is at this point saying they're fine, but then everybody's like, okay, show us, and she's like, no. She's like, I don't have to. And then so I think she ended up getting arrested at one point for like contempt of court. So yeah, there's some charges down here. But so another thing that doesn't really get mentioned so much is that pretty recently, I'm not really sure when, so the brother that killed the ex-husband here in December, he dies mysteriously.
Interesting.
And then, so Lori had also at one point separately, she had convinced her niece to kind of join the cult that she was starting. So that niece leaves her husband, just like up and vanishes, kind of. And then she gets married to someone else almost right away. And then someone almost shot him, missed him by like this much. Like a hitman style. Like one shot, nobody heard it. It was just all of a sudden the windshield has shattered of his car and there's a bullet hole next to him. So that's mysterious. A little bit. And then looks like someone else had died too, but I can't really find who that is. But like, it's a lot of like, okay. And then so what the zombie kid thing is while she was saying like, oh, Tylee's dead, oh, JJ's actually possessed, so that's not JJ. So one of the reasons she was denying that JJ was still like what was her kid, first off, like, he had no blood relation to her. JJ is Charles's grand nephew or something. Yeah. So they had adopted him, so legally Lori is his mom, but other than that, like, not really. So people think like, oh, she didn't really care about him because he isn't blood. She was also telling people he was possessed by the devil, and that he would die soon. She was telling people that Charles was going to die soon, like a few days before, because she was like really stressed all the time about the divorce and stuff. And then she like was really calm one day, and I think it was like her sister or her niece or something asked her, and she was like, oh, I'm not worried about it, he's going to die soon, he's possessed, he's dead. So really it's the devil taking over him. So she's not all there.
Yeah.
Or she's pretending to not be all there.
Yeah.
And then so they fled to Hawaii again. So they got married in Hawaii while the kids are officially missing. And you can look at the wedding photos, and it's really eerie, and it's very suspicious because they're smiling and they're having fun while the kids are missing, like legally missing. So people are like, hello? Or I guess they weren't missing it. They were missing at that point. No one had seen them, but legally they weren't until the 26th. But that's super suspicious. And then, so they disappeared. And then in February of this month, February of this year, 2020, which is how I found the story. They were actually found and arrested in Hawaii, which it sounds like they weren't really like missing so much as they couldn't press the charges as easily until they got extradited from Hawaii. And so they were trying to like, also, if there's not a body, it's very hard to charge for murder. So they couldn't charge her with the murder of her kids, even though it's not likely at this point that they're alive.
Right.
No body, no crime. It's very hard to present without a reasonable doubt that she murdered, especially if there is no body. So she was arrested by the Kauai police for 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children. She was also charged with resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court. So those last charges are because she wouldn't present the kids, because she was told in January, at the beginning of January, like, just prove to us the kids are safe and we'll get out of your hair for this. And she was like, no.
So how old would the kids be?
7 and 17
right now. Okay.
Yeah. So in a report that came out in the middle of March, official court documents say that Vallow and Daybell had been convinced that Tylee and JJ had been possessed and become zombies. I don't really know what that means, because it's all like, everything just says like, that's what they said, and it's like, well, can we like talk about that a little bit? Like, what does that mean for these kids? So, but a lot of the things, unfortunately, it's just a lot of speculation, because until they can find bodies, which hopefully they don't, because there's a chance that they're still alive, but not a good chance.
I mean,
if they're still alive, I hope they're good. If they're not alive, I hope they find the bodies.
Yeah, I hope that the justice is served, because they're like, that's concerning. And then also something suspicious. In October of 2019, they had a storage unit, Lori did, and it just had a bunch of stuff of JJ and Tylee's. So clothes, bikes, photographs. And then when they fled to Hawaii in November, you can see her and other people moving stuff out of the locker, but people say that the locker was just full of all the kids' stuff. So that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the big things. It's just like, oh, so one thing I do like is that her lawyers, so she was arrested for a $5 million bond. So, and given a $5 million bond, even though I don't think, because she's not a danger to society, but I think there's a good chance that she'll flee, because she's done it a few times now.
Yeah.
So the judge was like, you're right, that's too high, $5 million is too much. Here, you have $1 million. So that's still too, she can't afford that, so she's sitting in jail. And then another thing is a bunch of bail bond companies, like, so I think she could afford the bond at this point, but the bail bonds places that can bail her out, they won't take her on.
Yeah, good.
So, which, fair enough. But one thing also that people are suspicious of is like a few days after her husband was killed, is she was trying to go and collect her life insurance money and like go see about the estate. What she didn't know is that like a few weeks before, he had changed everything to only benefit his sister, so she got nothing. So, but she didn't know that. So
interesting.
Yeah, but that's pretty much
Good call on
all
his
of
part.
it. A lot of search warrants, and then Lori's niece Melanie is very suspicious as well. She's the one that abandoned her husband, and then her husband like almost got killed. She's part of the cult at this point, and no one knows for sure that it's a cult, but he's very much like end of days. You need to start prepping.
Sounds like a cult.
It's a cult, but legally it's not a cult at this point because they don't have enough proof that it's a cult. And he's also not in jail right now because they don't have anything on him. But what I was reading is, sounds like he might be arrested very, very soon. So,
yeah,
that's a bright side. And then, so also the investigation was proceeding with Alex killing husband number 4, Charles. But he died, so they can't really pursue that.
Right.
And again, he died under mysterious circumstances, so that's another. Add that to the list, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the story of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell so far. I think it's pretty open and shut, personally.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do. But legally, to get that to stick, you need a lot more than they do. Because everything right now is circumstantial, alleged and stuff. So I think that it's definitely a hard spot to be in. And then also, like, people think that she allegedly killed Tylee in Yellowstone, which that is one of the biggest national parks in the country. So it's almost impossible to find a body there. So that's rough too.
Good to know. Jot
and
that
then,
down.
yeah, and then JJ was seen afterwards, but he was a small dude too. And Idaho's a big place as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those that it's just,
It's very sad.
there's no winners. Yeah, just a lot of like death and destruction in their path. And I really hope that justice is brought soon, because it's not going to fix everything, but I think that'll help the families. And then also just getting these people off the street, because they're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah.
that's that.
And that's that. So
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Bizarre. I thought
Very
we were
bizarre.
done. I thought we were done with the murder cult thing. Like we've had plenty of those.
nah,
This seems
dude.
like another one.
No, this one has a podcast.
True. You got me there.
So modern day.
Man. Yeah. No, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Not quite. I don't know. I guess if you find any other information on this, it seems like you're somewhat keeping tabs on this. Definitely let me know. If
Yeah.
Tanner would be interested in seeing what happens.
Tweet it from our podcast Twitter. If it's credible.
So I just found the podcast.
Oh yeah? Send that to me in a text message.
Or
I don't think I want to listen to it.
just drop it in Discord.
They were posting all the way up to December. I agree, Zelda.
Sounds
Yeah. I'll listen and let you know.
Here's the that first episode that Lori was on and everything, and it's like I don't know that it's still like up. I can't imagine that Apple's still hosting this, but
We'll see.
yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
Pretty cut and dry.
Not great.
Allegedly. Let's go ahead and throw that in there because she hasn't been convicted.
She will.
She can sue us.
So
She
Emily,
can
you mean
try.
to tell me you don't believe in any of this? 'Cause
I
asked you.
think my personal opinion is that she definitely killed those kids, or at the very least, they are in danger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they could be on a compound somewhere.
I don't
Which-
know because Chad Daybell's the leader of this cult,
Yeah.
and I think that at this point they would have produced the kids. if and not been telling people they had been dead for 2 years.
Yeah, that's weird.
So
Sounds like drugs.
sounds like, yeah.
Drugs and brainwashing.
I think it's definitely brainwashing. I do think that Chad is leading a cult. But
Well, at least the ATF hasn't gotten involved yet.
the ATF, I have forgotten.
Huh? Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms?
Oh, okay.
They were
Yeah, I
the
don't
ones
think
that
they're
bungled the
involved.
Waco siege.
That was a minute ago. Give him a break.
It's-
Give him a break.
That was before my time.
It might be before mine. It might have been the year I was born.
Waco standoff. Waco siege. Yeah, 93.
Oh, it was a little early. But
That was about your time, right, Norm?
What?
he's just shaking his head violently.
When were you born, Norm? What year?
91.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're younger than the Waco siege.
Older.
Good.
That's what I said. Older. You came before the Waco siege.
But
Oh, Emily.
well,
Well, thanks for leaving us on a terrible note.
yeah, for real, super depressing.
If you have any information about it, I believe you can contact. You can find a bunch of places to contact. There are rewards. There's like a $20,000 reward to finding the kids alive or dead. So
I'll put the FBI tip line in the description. I guess.
oh, another thing that
I
doesn't
guess.
lead into thinking good things is so JJ is autistic and he had a dog that was like trained specifically to keep him like level-headed and stuff.
Yeah.
When she moved to Idaho, she sold the dog.
Right. You just don't need it.
You don't need it if you don't have the kid.
Right.
That's
So
not a good sign.
I would say no on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Any more depression you want to drop on us, Emily?
No.
No.
Okay. Don't look for some.
Well, no. Idaho. I was looking for the thing that was released today. So there's a probe into the death of Tammy. They announced that yesterday.
Good. That's a place to start. Keep it
It's
going.
a place to start. So because you can at least probably get Chad on that. He needs to be in jail. But it also looks like she might get charged for that.
Odds are, if she does, she'll confess to whatever else she's done.
I don't know. She's been very steadfast.
Yeah, but like, once you're already looking at jail for life, you start throwing stuff out, you know?
I think that she genuinely believes that the world's going to end in July, though. So I think if she holds out, I think that past July, when the world doesn't end, respectably,
Right.
that maybe then Zelda discussed this. I think maybe then, but until July, I think she's gonna stay silent because, like, you can even see interviews. People will, like, follow. So people knew who they were in Hawaii, so they would follow them around and be like, "Where are your kids?" All the
Yeah.
time. They're harassed all the time, and there's like a video of them being followed, like, "Hey, where are your kids?" And she just smiles at the camera and keeps walking, and it's like,
Well, that's creepy.
it's eerie.
Jesus.
I think we should see what O.J. Simpson thinks about it. He is the...
Should we wait for
What's
his-
Ja Rule think?
Oh, gosh. Let's see what P. Diddy thinks.
Yeah, I think
Is that
that
joke too old?
that's just about everything.
It's just Diddy.
He's one of the people who might have had Tupac killed.
Oh, absolutely.
Allegedly. Anyway, very depressing. Glad we
You're
can end
welcome.
on this note.
And it's not Mothman.
I don't have jokes to make because I'm depressed. So...
Aren't we all? The world's ending. The world's on fire. It's not going to be over.
Was that a Smash Mouth reference?
No, that was me trying to be uplifting.
Oh, okay.
Look at this
Smash Mouth is
cat. Look how
uplifting.
cute.
So, on that note, I'm going to sign off and try to go to bed.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'll upload this Sunday, and we'll be back here next week. In the meantime...
Cool. So I have been Emily. You can find me everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Ninja Squirrel, NJASQRL. I'm getting back to streaming. I took a break. Oops. And I will be probably more from the Spook Troop account than mine, because this isn't quite my Twitter account's brand. But if there are any big updates, I'll update it there, and then I'll also try to mention it here, on the actual podcast. But justice is slow.
Yes, it is.
Norm, where can we find you?
Hey, I'm Norm. You can find me most anywhere at Unhappy Bananas. That's pretty much it. I mean, yeah. Unhappy Bananas, Instagram, Twitter, sometimes. Here. Tanner!
I am Tanner at I'm Still Tanner. That's the only place I want people to look for me, is Twitter.
That's on Twitter.
So, and also here, but this is already on here. So, that's fine.
I thought your mixer was Dumpster Jedi.
It is. But, we're already on there, so everyone watching knows that.
Fair enough. Oh, we are. So yeah, something to mention though is right now we are doing our episodes live through the magic of the internet on his mixer. I'll try to get it up on my Twitch. I think it might do a little better. Get us a wider audience. Zelda, don't do it. She's gone. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at SpookTroopPod. You can go to our website, channel3media.com. You can... Don't eat the microphone. You can suggest things there. You can find our merch. And then you can also find us individually there as well. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Sorry to ruin your day / evening / middle of the day, whatever. Sorry,
All
Mom.
right.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, sorry.